Yes, sir. No, that's actually how I was sitting in my bed last night, like thinking about this, like waiting for today. And it actually officially starts in like 5 minutes, but it's the chick fight, you know, starting off the prelims. And no one wants to watch the chick fight, so we're not going to watch that. We're going to do a detailed analysis and what's going to happen. And, you know, we'll see how correct I am after the event ensues. But yeah, UFC 314 picks, analysis, and predictions. Let's go. All right, this is actually like the card that I've been like the most excited for in a long time. Now, I'm a UFC vet, bro. I've been watching for a minute, so.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, for the vacant featherweight championship of the world.
All right, starting off with the main event. I gotta take a sip of water before this. Man, if you take a look at all the odds too, which makes this event so great, is that all the odds for like the majority of the fights are pretty even, which means it could go either way. So there's no huge underdogs and there's no huge favorites. So it's like good matchups all around the board. But this matchup right here, I really feel like it could go either way. We're gonna sketch out our game plan and really draw out what I think is going to happen and why. All right, here we go. This is what I've cooked up for the first fight right here. We'll start off on this side. Diego, his advantages is he's got a win streak going compared to Volk, who's been knocked out in his last 2 fights pretty brutally too. So it's just negative. It's really negative momentum versus positive momentum, and that could really, you know, end up deciding the fight and really like deciding how it goes. Next, we got reach and height advantage for Diego. It might not be much, it might be a few inches. You know, that's a lot, but it does make a difference when you're fighting somebody. Now, Volk probably has beaten people in the past with height and reach advantages, but I think it's just in this fight, Diego's more of a lanky guy. He's going to be throwing some creative striking, and he might find Volk's chin. Who knows? But it's definitely an advantage for Diego. Moving on to Volk, he's got an experience advantage, as you can see. I've written that down. Now, what that means is he's been on top of the game for a long time in the featherweight division. He's arguably the featherweight GOAT. So, you know, he's fought more. He's been in this situation many times before, whereas Diego, you know, this is his first title fight ever. It might even be his first 5-rounder. I'm not even quite sure about that. That's definitely an advantage for Volk, in Volk's favor. And then moving on towards the bottom, my last thing I have written down here is Diego's mullet versus Volk, who is actually bald. Now, I think that might be a bit advantage for Diego because he might have, like, he gets style points for sure. However, for Volk, it might be better because he's more aerodynamic. He doesn't have, like, the hair slowing him down, so he can dodge faster. He could slip. He could, you know, throw strikes better. So, I don't know. It's like one of those fights you could pick either fighter, but give me Diego. You know, I think he's fresher. I think he wants it really bad. So I think he's hungry. I think he's going to get it.
Iron Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett.
It's going to be a really good one here. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, bro. I'm breaking on the whiteboard, though. First off, we're going to start over here, as you can see, for Paddy. We're going to go over his advantages. First being ground game. Now, Chandler's ground game hasn't really been tested all that much since he's more of a stand-up type of guy, and his opponents have been stand-up type of guys. But his defense is good against Charles. We saw that on his ground game. And he is actually a wrestler, so he can go for takedowns, Chandler. However, Paddy, I think, might have the advantage on the ground in terms of submissions. But to be completely honest with you, I don't even think it's going to the ground. I think it's going to stay standing. I think both guys are going to be looking for the chin. Sorry. And, yeah, I think we're going to get a knockout here. Next advantage for Paddy here, we have Scouser. Tells you all you need to know. And then we got he's younger / quicker. This might not be that much of an advantage since you know, Chandler's just an athlete. Overall, he's just an athlete, but it might play in a little bit. We'll see. All right, moving on. We got Chandler right here. First advantage for Chandler, we got experience. Now, he has been in there with much more experience and better opponents than Paddy. We're talking Charles, we're talking Poirier. Just guys that have been on top of the lightweight division for a long time. You've got Gaethje too. You know, he went 5 rounds in his most recent fight with Charles, who is arguably the best submissionist and grappler, BJJ at least, in the entire world, out of any fucking weight class. And he did all right. He kind of got dominated, but he didn't get submitted. His defense was on point. He was landing some strikes, and that leads me to my next point right here, which is gas tank. Now Chandler, he's got experience with 5-rounders. I don't think Paddy does. So he's got the gas tank to keep going. Not that it will have to go 5 rounds, because I really don't think it's going to. I think it's going to finish early, like 1, 2, maybe 3. It's an important feature to have, even in the early rounds, having a gas tank, going the full 5 minutes. You know, it's important. And the next advantage and final advantage for Mike, we have striking. I think he is the slightly better striker, you know. I think Paddy's striking is pretty good too, but I think Chandler's just got an advantage. I think he's going to land more. And I feel like it could, you know, deep inside I know it could go either way. Paddy is a little bit favored, but just the experience from Chandler, you know, the athleticism, the gas tank. I got Chandler, knockout, halfway through round 2.
Another fantastic fight, ladies and gentlemen. Patricio Pitbull and Yair Rodriguez.
I'm going to be completely honest about this fight. I don't know much about either fighter because I didn't follow Bellator for Patricio Pitbull. And I don't know much about Yair Rodriguez, but I feel like it could go either way, but I'm going to pick Yair, you know, former featherweight interim champ. He could do it.
Bryce the Nasty Mitchell versus Sean Silva.
Right here. This is going to be a good one right here. Let's get into it. I don't know. Sean Silva, he's coming off of, 4 straight finishes in his UFC fights. So I don't know. He's a good striker. He's a good stand-up guy. And people were counting out Bryce Mitchell so much until recently. I'm pretty sure he opened up at like plus 300 underdog, something crazy like that. And people are really not seeing the thought process that's going through. He's got a good ground game, I'd say. So if he does take this to the ground, he could potentially submit Silva. But, you know, if he catches him slipping and he goes for a takedown attempt, that's the only way I see it really going. But if Silva's striking and on the foot work is just on point, maybe that's not going to happen. But I don't know. I definitely don't think it's going the distance. So Bryce gets it done with the power of the Holy Spirit.
Keith Karloff and Dominic Reyes.
Let me tell you about this one. Now, this dude has not fought. Nikita Krylov has not fought in like 2 or 3 years. So for him to be a favorite, even if it's a slight favorite, it's so like far-fetched and just disrespectful, and I don't see the vision here at all. Dominic Reyes beat John Jones. That's not even arguably. He did beat John Jones. He got robbed by the judges. If you know, you know. He's on a 2-fight win streak, and the second title run of his career is only just getting started. He's going to beat this dude, and he's going to keep moving up in the ranks, and he's going to win that light heavyweight title. Now, you got to, like, just this whole situation, I feel so bad because it's like one robbery, it just changed. You could tell it changed his whole, like, thought of mind and his whole mentality because he went on a 4-fight losing streak. I'm pretty sure they were all knockouts, pretty brutal knockouts too. The Yuri spinning elbow was just so awful, but I think he's back. I think his head's in the right place. He's got the mentality now, and I think he's going to come back and he's going to get it done. Give me Dominic Reyes, TKO, round 1. I don't even think it's going to go round 2.
Sean Woodson and Dan Ige, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm going to pick the fighter that you would not expect. This guy got a weird-ass physique. That tells you all you need to know. He's not winning. Dan Ige, he's a dog. He took the Diego Lopez fight on, like, what, 3-4 hours notice, which is crazy. And he went the distance with him. Give me Danny Ige decision. Unanimous decision. And I think it's going to be like 29-28 or 30-27. Jim Miller, you know, he's still going. He's like 50 years old now. Most submissions. Wait, is it most submissions? No, it's most wins. I think it's most submissions in UFC history too. But Chase Hooper's just much younger. He's going to get it done. Give me Chase Hooper. Maybe on paper he should win it by submission. He's got a very good BJJ game. I think Chase Hooper round 2 submission or round 1. It could be either one.
Darren Elkins and Julian Erosa. Mitch Raposo and Nora Cornell. Thank you all for coming out to the...
That's really it. So we're going to drop the locks and we're going to summarize the whole... Ow! We're going to summarize what happened. Alright, as you can see, we got everything written out in green. This is all the locks, in my opinion. Written in green, because it's money. All I'm talking is money here. And yeah, this is all what's going to happen right here. Free bread and free game I'm giving out here. Yeah, I don't really see any other way that this is just... I'm the greatest predictor, the greatest foreseer. I can see through the traps and the betting. And this is what's going to happen right here. These are the picks for UFC 314. Best card in a while. I'm super excited, and it's gonna be amazing to watch. But you know, this is right here is what I'm feeling. So I think I did it again.